Certainly. Here's a summary of Marc Levinson's The Box: How the Shipping Container Made the World Smaller and the World Economy Bigger. Introduction. Marc Levinson's The Box: How the Shipping Container Made the World Smaller and the World Economy Bigger is a captivating exploration of the profound impact that the simple shipping container has had on global trade and the world economy. The book delves into the history, development, and widespread influence of this unassuming steel box, showing how it revolutionized the shipping industry and transformed global commerce. The birth of the container. The story begins with Malcolm McLean, a North Carolina trucker who, in the mid-20th century, envisioned a more efficient way to transport goods. The traditional methods of loading and unloading ships were labor-intensive and time-consuming, involving a complex process of handling individual items or break-bulk cargo. McLean realized that if goods could be packed into standardized containers, which could be easily transferred from trucks to ships and back, the process would be much faster, cheaper, and more reliable. In 1956, McLean introduced the first modern shipping container aboard the Ideal X, a converted oil tanker that carried 58 containers from Newark to Houston. This marked the beginning of the container revolution, which would eventually lead to the global standardization of container sizes and the creation of a new industry focused on container shipping. The container's impact on shipping. The introduction of the shipping container had a transformative effect on the shipping industry. Before containers, loading and unloading cargo was a laborious task that could take days, with goods often being damaged or lost in the process. The use of containers drastically reduced the time and cost of shipping, as cargo could now be loaded and unloaded in a matter of hours with minimal handling. This efficiency led to lower shipping costs and made it economically viable to ship goods over long distances, thus facilitating global trade. Levinson explains how the containerization process required significant changes in port infrastructure and logistics. Traditional ports were ill-equipped to handle containers, leading to the development of specialized container terminals with cranes and other equipment designed to move containers efficiently. This shift led to the decline of many older ports and the rise of new ones, often located near deep water harbors that could accommodate large container ships. The globalization of trade. One of the most significant impacts of containerization was its role in driving globalization. By dramatically reducing the cost of shipping, containers made it possible for manufacturers to produce goods in one part of the world and sell them in another, leading to the development of global supply chains. This change allowed companies to source materials and labor from different countries, depending on cost and efficiency, thereby maximizing profits and expanding their markets. Levinson explores how containerization contributed to the rise of export-oriented economies in Asia, particularly in countries like Japan, South Korea, and China. These countries invested heavily in port infrastructure and manufacturing capabilities to capitalize on the new opportunities presented by container shipping. As a result, they became major players in global trade, exporting vast quantities of consumer goods to the United States and Europe. The transformation of ports and cities. The container revolution also had a profound impact on the geography of trade. Ports that adapted to the new containerized system thrived, while those that failed to modernize declined. Levinson provides detailed accounts of how cities like New York, London, and San Francisco, which were once dominant maritime centers, saw their traditional docks and wharves become obsolete as container terminals were established in more suitable locations. For example, New York City's harbor, once the busiest in the world, lost its status as a major shipping hub as container traffic moved to the nearby port of Newark and other deep water ports that could handle the large container ships. Similarly, London's traditional docks on the River Thames were replaced by the port of Felixstowe, which became the UK's leading container port. This shift in trade patterns led to the decline of waterfront communities that had long been dependent on traditional port activities, while new port cities emerged as economic powerhouses. Levinson also discusses the broader implications of this transformation, including the rise of suburbanization and the decline of urban centers, as containerization reduced the need for centralized industrial and distribution hubs. Labor and the changing workforce. Containerization had a dramatic impact on the labor force in the shipping industry. The traditional system of loading and unloading cargo was labor-intensive and relied heavily on dockworkers, who were skilled at handling a wide variety of goods. The introduction of containers, however, led to a significant reduction in the need for manual labor, as cranes and other machinery took over much of the work. Levinson details the resistance from labor unions, particularly in the United States and Europe, where dockworkers feared job losses and erosion of their negotiating power. Strikes and labor disputes were common as the industry transitioned to containerization. However, despite the initial resistance, containerization ultimately led to the loss of many traditional dockworker jobs, as ports became more automated and required fewer workers to operate. On the other hand, containerization created new types of jobs, particularly in logistics, management, and technology. The shift also led to changes in labor relations and the decline of union power in many parts of the world. Levinson discusses how this evolution reflected broader trends in the global economy, including the move towards deregulation, privatization, and the growth of multinational corporations. The economics of container shipping. Levinson delves into the economics of container shipping, explaining how the industry evolved from a fragmented and competitive market to one dominated by a few large players. Initially, the high cost of container ships and the need for specialized port infrastructure limited the growth of the industry. However, as containerization proved its efficiency and cost-effectiveness, shipping companies began to invest heavily in container fleets and terminals. The book details how the container shipping industry became increasingly concentrated, with mergers and acquisitions leading to the rise of major global shipping lines. These companies benefited from economies of scale, as larger ships could carry more containers at lower per-unit costs. This consolidation led to intense competition and price wars, driving down shipping rates and making container shipping even more accessible to businesses worldwide. Levinson also explores the challenges faced by the industry, including the cyclical nature of shipping demand, fluctuations in fuel prices, and the need to continually invest in larger and more efficient vessels. The author highlights the role of government policies and international regulations in shaping the industry, as well as the ongoing issues related to environmental sustainability and the impact of shipping on climate change. The box and the information revolution. The advent of the shipping container also played a crucial role in the information revolution. The standardization of container sizes and the development of container tracking systems facilitated the flow of goods and information across borders. Levinson explains how the container became a key component of just-in-time manufacturing and distribution systems, allowing companies to minimize inventory costs and respond quickly to changes in demand. The book discusses the integration of container shipping with other modes of transportation, such as rail and trucking, creating a seamless intermodal system that further increased efficiency and reduced costs. This integration was made possible by advances in information technology, which allowed companies to track containers in real time, optimize routes, and coordinate the movement of goods across multiple transport modes. Levinson also touches on the implications of containerization for global trade agreements and the development of free trade zones, which facilitated the movement of goods across borders and contributed to the expansion of international trade. Conclusion: the legacy of the box. In the concluding chapters, Levinson reflects on the legacy of the shipping container and its ongoing influence on the world economy. The container has not only revolutionized the shipping industry but has also reshaped global trade, transformed cities and labor markets, and contributed to the rise of globalization. Levinson emphasizes that while the container has brought significant economic benefits, it has also created challenges, including environmental concerns, labor displacement, and the concentration of economic power in a few large corporations. He argues that understanding the history and impact of the shipping container is crucial for addressing the complexities of the modern global economy. The book ends with a discussion of the future of containerization, including the potential for further automation, the rise of new shipping routes due to climate change, and the ongoing challenges of balancing efficiency with sustainability. Themes and implications. 1. Globalization and economic integration. Levinson illustrates how the shipping container has been a catalyst for globalization, enabling the rapid expansion of international trade and the integration of economies. The container's ability to reduce shipping costs and increase efficiency has allowed companies to develop global supply chains and source materials and labor from around the world. 2. Technological innovation and disruption. The story of the shipping container is also a story of technological innovation and disruption. The container transformed the shipping industry, rendering traditional methods obsolete and forcing companies, workers, and cities to adapt to new realities. 3. Labor and industrial relations. The book highlights the impact of containerization on labor, particularly the decline of traditional dock worker jobs and the rise of new forms of employment in logistics and technology. Levinson examines the tensions between labor and management during this transition and the broader implications for labor relations in the global economy. 4. Urban transformation. Containerization has reshaped the geography of trade, leading to the decline of old port cities and the rise of new ones. Levinson explores the economic and social consequences of this transformation, including the impact on urban development, real estate, and local communities. 5. Environmental and sustainability challenges. Levinson acknowledges the environmental impact of container shipping, including the contribution to greenhouse gas emissions and the challenges of managing waste and pollution. The book raises important questions about the sustainability of the container shipping industry and the need for regulatory frameworks to address these issues. 6. Global trade and economic power. The concentration of economic power in a few large shipping companies and the role of government policies and international regulations in shaping the industry are key themes in the book. Levinson discusses the implications of this concentration for global trade and economic dynamics, highlighting how the dominance of a few shipping giants has influenced trade flows, market access, and the distribution of economic benefits. He also explores the role of international organizations like the World Trade Organization, WTO, in regulating trade and the challenges of balancing the interests of different countries and stakeholders. Broader impacts on society and culture. Levinson's The Box also touches on the broader societal and cultural impacts of containerization. The book examines how the availability of cheap, mass-produced goods has transformed consumer behavior and lifestyles. The ability to import products from around the world at low costs has contributed to the rise of consumerism and the spread of global culture. However, this has also led to concerns about the homogenization of cultures and the decline of local industries. The book also considers the implications of containerization for developing countries. While some nations have benefited from integrating into global supply chains, others have struggled to compete in the global market, leading to economic challenges and social inequalities. Levinson highlights the importance of infrastructure development, education, and policy reforms in enabling countries to take advantage of the opportunities created by containerization. The future of containerization. As Levinson looks to the future, he discusses the potential for further technological advancements in the shipping industry. The rise of automation, artificial intelligence, and smart logistics systems could lead to even greater efficiencies and cost reductions. However, these changes also raise concerns about job displacement and the need for new skills and training programs to prepare workers for the evolving industry. Levinson also addresses the impact of environmental and regulatory pressures on the future of container shipping. As concerns about climate change and sustainability grow, there is increasing scrutiny on the shipping industry's carbon footprint and its contribution to global emissions. The book explores the potential for alternative fuels, improved energy efficiency, and stricter environmental regulations to shape the future of the industry. Conclusion: the container as a symbol of globalization. In his final reflections, Levinson positions the shipping container as a powerful symbol of globalization and the interconnectedness of the modern world. The container's simplicity belies its profound impact on the global economy, reshaping industries, transforming cities, and influencing the lives of people around the world. Levinson argues that understanding the history of the shipping container is essential for grasping the complexities of today's global economy. The container's legacy is a reminder of the power of innovation to drive economic change, but also of the challenges and responsibilities that come with such transformation. As the world continues to grapple with the implications of globalization, the story of the shipping container offers valuable lessons on the balance between efficiency, equity, and sustainability. Key takeaways. 1. Efficiency and cost reduction. The shipping container revolutionized global trade by drastically reducing shipping costs and increasing efficiency. This allowed goods to be moved quickly and cheaply across long distances, facilitating the growth of global supply chains and international trade. 2. Infrastructure and adaptation. The success of containerization depended on significant investments in port infrastructure, logistics, and technology. Cities and companies that adapted to the new system thrived, while those that failed to modernize struggled to remain competitive. 3. Labor disruption. Containerization led to the displacement of traditional dockworker jobs and the decline of labor unions' influence in the shipping industry. The shift towards automation and new types of employment reflects broader trends in the global economy. 4. Globalization and economic shifts. The container played a crucial role in the globalization of trade, enabling the rise of export-oriented economies in Asia and reshaping global economic power. It also contributed to the decline of manufacturing in Western countries and the rise of consumerism. 5. Environmental and sustainability challenges. The environmental impact of container shipping is an ongoing concern, with the industry facing pressures to reduce its carbon footprint and improve sustainability. The future of containerization will be shaped by technological innovations and regulatory changes aimed at addressing these challenges. 6. Symbol of globalization. The shipping container stands as a symbol of the interconnectedness of the modern world, representing both the opportunities and challenges of globalization. Its story offers insights into the forces that drive economic change and the complexities of managing global trade in an increasingly interconnected world. This summary provides an in-depth overview of Marc Levinson's The Box, capturing the key themes, historical context, and broader implications of the shipping container's impact on the world economy. If you need further elaboration on any specific aspect or additional details, feel free to ask.